So let's start with the next segment, which is going to be storytelling. Peter is going to come back to stage and tell us how we can incorporate characters, dialogue, and many other devices to make all our presentations, including where you're presenting data to accountants, John, how you can make all presentations impactful through storytelling. So to talk to us about storytelling, please welcome back distinguished Toastmaster, Peter Law.
Death is the full stop at the end of your life sentence. But you can grab hold of that sentence, you can turn it into a paragraph, you can turn it into a page, you can turn it into a book, a whole story, because your story is unique. The stories you tell, the way you tell them, are unique. And stories are the most powerful force on earth. Don't believe it? About 2,000 years ago, Blake was telling stories. People tell stories about him. His name is Jesus Christ. They're still telling those stories today. Buddha, Islam, all those other religions, they all came from stories 1,000 years old. About 90 or so years ago, a guy told a story, created one of the largest genocides on earth, Adolf Hitler. These are the power of stories. Who here has had their COVID shot? Who's a bit worried about the COVID shot? Heard the stories. I've had mine. I'm in the blood clot zone. If I go down, it's dragging out. That's what I'm about an hour. But stories that tell about ourselves reveal who we are. Stories that you hear and pass on define who you are. So would you like to hear a story? Of course you would, because human beings love stories. So this happened many, many years ago before my hair and I parted ways. And it was slightly brown. It was okay, it was amicable. We had a chat about it. Time ago, mate, it really struggling. I'm just talking about. So back in the day, I worked for an organisation that hosted a prestigious art show for charity. And they would close down for a week and they would set this whole art show up. And they would have dignitaries come and open that art show. Mining magnates, MPs, governor generals, just plain old governors. This night it was Bronwyn Bishop. Remember her? Lady about that talk? Yeah, that talk. Very formal lady she was. The story of it. But the art. But every one of these art shows had a guest artist. And that guest artist would be a marquee person, a person that people come along to see. And they would get to hang quite a bit of art. I think this night it was about 14 pieces of art. And they get a whole corner of a huge auditorium. And everybody else is brings their stuff fixed over. So there's about 400 pieces of art around this place. This lady, I don't know, I can't remember her name, let's call her June. June comes in, brings her art in, and puts it there, and I looked at it, and I went, wow. She's obviously still playing on the cat, and it has rolled around on some canvas. And I thought it was awful. Because, you know, I've been to the Louvre. I have been to the Centre Pompidou in Paris. I've been to the Rockingham Art Centre. I know art. At least I thought I did. I said to the art director, I said, wow, your guest artist here might be a problem. And I said, yeah, when we went to the studio, it didn't look like that. I'm a bit worried about that. Because on these nights, they would make about $30,000 to $40,000 just for charity alone. And that's from 10% take off the art. So they sell a lot of art. And this is the marquee artist. I looked across there and I hung it up, and on the night that it all opened up, I didn't go near this thing. I just couldn't bear myself to go through that. So on that night, they did all the thing, did all their sales, walked around, said it, soiree, and had our wine, stuck our finger up the air, had our canapes. Yeah, I'll touch it. Canapes. I don't say canapes. Was that the right word? I have no idea. And the next day I came in and I said to the art director, I said, have a go. Now, here's that. Sold the lot. Sold the lot. She's obviously going through her cat vomit period. All I said, I go, how did she sell the lot? She said the artist knew that her stuff was controversial, that people would not understand it. So she stood in the corner with her art. Most artists stand here and listen to people with their stuff. And she would listen and she'd come up and talk to them. And she'd say, this is my art. Oh. And she told them the story of the art. She told them what that art meant to her. And she told them what it would mean to them. She didn't sell her art. She sold the story that went with it. Most people now have this bit of cat vomit on their wall at home. When people walk in and go, oh my God, what is that? They tell the story that they were told and how important it is, and then it gets passed on. That is the power of story. And you can do that too. You can learn how to tell stories. So what are the key parts of storytelling? Well, first of all, you need to understand why you're telling the story. I mean, we've all had those stories go, that's comforting us, I'm never getting back home. And they start in the middle and they just die a natural death. You're just sitting there, drowning in your own spit, just wanting to get away. So you have to learn to tell a story, and you have to know why you're telling the story. Give it some context, set the scene about why you're telling that story. And I think Philippa mentioned this. Try and create an emotional attachment. That art got sold because of the emotional attachment of all those stories. And your story must have a destination. You've been to those stories where they just stop it. You go, isn't it all? No, there's no more inspiration. Your job as a storyteller is to take people on a journey to a destination, what you want them to understand, what you want them to know. The job is to take them on a journey. You help them visualize. Put them in the story. Here I am, walking the beach. I hear the gulls off in the distance. I feel the sand switch my toes. The waves gently lap. I have a beer in my hand. Life is sweet. Were you on that beach? I hope you were. That's what you do. I want to take you on that journey. I want to take you to that beach. That was about it. Thank you, beers. Storytelling is the oldest art in the world. The minute we created language about 100,000 years ago, all our history, all our learning was done through stories. It is written into your DNA. It is part of you as a human. They didn't invent written word until 96,500 years later, give or take. They invented power. But some of the best stories and some of the most interesting stories are your favourites. We brought our kids up, and when they come to us, they go, oh, this is happening, that's happening, this is going wrong. My wife and I would say, when you get through this, at least you'll have a good story to tell. And they live by that right now. And our daughter lives such, she lives in Kenya. She tells us things have gone on. And she says at the end, at least I'm going to have a good story to tell. That's quite right. There's so many things happen to us that just reveal it. I can tell that story. Faith. Would you like to hear another story about faith and redemption? Of course you would. It's in your DNA. I've just told you that. And you believe me because I make the eye contact. Even further back than the art show. And I still have it. I wanted to join the SAS, Special Air Service Regiment, many years ago. I trained for 9-10 months. I got selected to go on the selection course. I went on the selection course and we go through all these things. I just basically run you into the deck, make you mentally and physically exhausted, and then tell you to get up and do it all again. So there it was. This is one of the easy ones. I'm about 5 or 6 days into this course, middle of winter over in the eastern states. And we're going to do a navigational exercise by ourselves. They take us out into the bush. They give us a map, a compass, 24 hours rations, a rifle and our kit, and send us off in all different directions. And what we had to do, we had to walk 6 to 9 Ks and find someone in the middle of the bush. And he would say, yep, you made it, go to the next one. And then he'd tell us where to go next. And you kept doing that 24 hours. So there we were. We dropped out there. I've done about 4 or 5. It's coming on dark. And my next one is in a swamp. And just as it's going on dark, I'll find this thing. I'm standing on the edge of the swamp. And somewhere out there, about 200 or 300 metres in the dark, is some guy sitting on a log that I have to find. And I have a compass that glows in the dark. It's radioactive, and they give me out anymore because it's illegal. See? So I get my trusty torch out because Matt wasn't allowed to use the torch. I go, blink, glow's gone. No worries, military torch, spare in the bottom. Undo it, nothing. Was that the fault of the guy that gave me the torch? No, it wasn't my fault because I didn't check my kit. But that's all right. I had a trusty box of matches, 50 matches. And here I am trying to read a compass, and it went dark. And it started to rain. And it's all cloudy. No moon. So I'm striking the match looking, trying for it not to go out. And I'm making my way, and I sort of stumble out into the swamp. I get to about here on teabag. Ladies, if you don't know what that means, I'm next to you. And I'm out there, and I walk out up to my waist. I'm standing my waist in water, freezing cold water, and it's raining. I'm having a party, right? Yeah. I get out there, and I really bang around. I bump into a guy. He says, he's over there, about 10 metres, because he just found me. I go, brilliant. So I stagger over this guy. He goes, yeah, you're here. I said, my torch doesn't work. He said, I kid. Way to go. Next one. Right. I'm down to about 20 matches at this time. So I've got to stagger out of this swamp. I get out of the swamp, your boots are full of water, you're wet from here down. Wow. I walk about 30 or 40 metres out of that swamp, pitch black. And I remember this well. Put my hand out there, cannot see it. Cannot see my hand. So I walk a bit more and I trip and I go head over heel. And I hit the deck. I sprawl everywhere and I start picking all up. I jump up. I go, oh yeah, I'm okay. And I keep walking. I walk about another 50 metres. I go, oh, I better find out where I am. No compass. No map. It'll come out. Now there is no way to try to, but there is no way to find that when you cannot see it. I'm thinking, this is it. I've trained this whole time. I've been selected to come on this course. This is it. I am it. What can I do? I thought, well, I better try and walk out because I'll just find my bones here about 10 minutes time. So I kept walking because I knew there was a track somewhere. I came across this track, and because the track, it's white sand, I could see it in the dark. I looked at it and went, well, I sort of know this track, I'll turn around. walk about 5Ks that way, wondering what the hell I'm going to do. When I'm walking this track, I hear this talking. All I hear is, mate, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't know. And I got to, yeah, mate, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. I sort of, thank God I've seen a living being again. There's a guy sitting on a log, he's shivering. I'm cold, I'm wet, it's rain, I've eaten all my food. I mean, we're about 8 hours in, he's eating 24 hours of food. The other guy's going, mate, you can do it. What do I see? I see opportunity. I see opportunity. I go, oh, look, I know where this campfire sitting around having hot coffee and chocolate and toasting. It's brilliant. We love it. Oh, is there? I go, don't do it, mate, don't do it, don't do that. I go, hey, leave the poor fellow ways. Come on. He finally comes with me. I get the map out because I know I've already hit this one. Right, we'll get you there. Walk 3 Ks that way, dropping off, look at that fire, mate. Headed away. And I headed off with this kid. And I kept going. And after that 24 hours exercise, we got in, we're all pretty tired. The ones that made it, that is. And we get in there, and we're all sitting there, and they talk about who passed it, who did it. The guy at the front, the instructor, picks up the pack and goes, whose is that? It's a compass, it's a map, it's a protractor. I go in the back, I go, that's mine. And I gave a little bit of talk about how you should. This story is slightly something we don't normally end it differently. Does anybody know why I told this? I haven't quite. Well, I'll tell you anyway. It's probably not that simple. It wasn't about overcoming resilience. It wasn't about talking about this kid. It was about the reason they picked me. Because I had integrity. I put my hand up and owned up to it. Straight up. They liked that, even though they stuck a few boots in my back. And I went on. Now, of 130, I was 26 hours class. I spent the next 20 years at the SAS Region, where I had a not too bad career. It was great. Great place to join. Great place to live. So you can see, that was almost the same. But I've turned it into a triumph. That's what good stories do. So what we say, always have a good story to tell. When things go wrong, think of it this way. I've had my daughter stuck on a border between 2 countries in Africa, and her visa ran out both countries, crying on the phone. Not to me, because she didn't get me. Her best friend, who rang me, and I rang her brother. Her brother rang her up and said, oh, yes, nothing. Made her laugh. She got through it. We still tell that story. We sit around as a family and tell those stories where things went wrong and how we got through it. We're all still here today. But the important thing about stories is make it a good story. Stories give you a voice. And Toastmasters will give you that voice. Your voice is important. All I can do is encourage you. Go to Toastmasters, tell your stories, and get your voice.